There is a chemical in your cereal right now that is also used in fire retardants. And as of this year, the FDA finally admitted it should never have been there. Over the last 18 months, the FDA has launched the most aggressive crackdown on food ingredients in American history. Some of these ingredients are already gone from shelves. Others have a deadline, and a few are still sitting in your pantry right now, waiting for their turn. In this video, I am going to walk you through all 11 of them, show you exactly which products they are hiding in, and tell you the deadlines you need to know. Let us start with the big one. Number 1. Red dye number 3. If you've eaten candy corn, maraschino cherries, or certain strawberry-flavored snack cakes in the last year, you've probably consumed this ingredient, also known as erythrocene. This is a petroleum-based synthetic dye that gives food a bright cherry red color. Here's what's wild about this one. The FDA actually banned Red 3 from cosmetics back in 1990, 35 years ago. The reason? Studies found it caused cancer in laboratory rats. But somehow, for 3.5 decades, it stayed perfectly legal to eat. You could not put it on your skin, but you could swallow it. Nobody could explain why. That finally changed on January 15th, 2025, when the FDA officially revoked its authorization for use in food. The agency cited the Delaney Clause, a federal rule that says the FDA cannot approve any additive found to cause cancer in humans or animals. No exceptions, no wiggle room. But here's what most people don't realize. The ban is official, but the deadline to actually remove it from products isn't until January 2027. That means right now, today, there are still products on shelves with Red 3 in them. Over 3,000 products were identified as containing this dye. Pez candy, Brax candy corn, certain Jelly Belly flavors, Pediasure drinks, and even some children's cough syrups. If you see F, D, and C red number 3 or erythrocene on a label, that product is living on borrowed time. But Red 3 is just the tip of the iceberg, because what the FDA announced next was far bigger. Number 2. The 6 synthetic dyes being phased out. In April 2025, the FDA and the Department of Health and Human Services dropped a bombshell. They are working to eliminate all petroleum-based synthetic dyes from the American food supply. 6 additional dyes are now on the chopping block: Red 40, Yellow 5, Yellow 6, Blue 1, Blue 2, and Green 3. Think about what that actually affects. Red 40 alone is in thousands of products: Skittles, Doritos, Gatorade, Fruit Loops, Pop-Tarts, Mountain Dew Code Red. If it is brightly colored and comes in a package, there is a good chance one of these 6 dyes is in it. Some companies are already moving. General Mills announced it will eliminate all certified color additives from U.S. cereals and school foods by summer 2026. Campbell said it will stop producing food with these dyes by the second half of 2026. Nestle announced plans to fully eliminate these colors from its U.S. products. But here is the part nobody is talking about. Some of the biggest food companies in America, including Coca-Cola, Unilever, and Mondelez, have made no concrete commitments at all. The FDA's approach here is voluntary. They are requesting, not requiring. So whether your favorite products actually change depends entirely on whether the companies behind them decide to cooperate. Meanwhile, California has already banned these dyes from public school meals. West Virginia passed a law prohibiting them starting in 2028. Over a dozen other states have introduced similar bills. These dyes are leaving the American food supply. The only question is how fast. Number 3. Brominated Vegetable Oil. This is the one I mentioned at the top. BVO contains bromine, the same chemical element used in flame retardants. It was added to citrus-flavored drinks like Mountain Dew, Sundrop, and various store-brand orange sodas to stop the flavoring from separating and floating to the top. The FDA called it safe back in 1958. Then in 1970, they reversed that and said they were not sure anymore. But instead of banning it, they just regulated how much could be used and left it on the market for another 54 years. The European Union banned BVO in 2008. Japan banned it in 2010. The UK banned it all the way back in 1970. The FDA did not fully ban it until July 2024, after studies conducted with the National Institutes of Health found that BVO accumulates in human tissue and causes adverse effects on the thyroid. That ban took full effect in August 2025. Most major brands like Pepsi and Coca-Cola had already removed it, but some off-brand sodas were still using it right up until the deadline. Number 4. Potassium Bromate. If you have ever eaten a fast food sandwich or grabbed a bag of dinner rolls from the grocery store, you have probably consumed potassium bromate. This chemical is added to flour to help bread rise higher and give it a more uniform, appealing texture. The problem is that potassium bromate does not fully break down during baking. It leaves behind residues classified as a possible human carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. The European Union, the UK, Canada, Brazil, China, and over 40 other countries have all banned it. In the United States, it is still technically legal at the federal level. The FDA says that if bread is baked properly, the bromate should break down into harmless bromide. But studies have shown that does not always happen, especially in bread baked at lower temperatures or for shorter times. California became the first state to ban it in 2023, and the FDA currently has potassium bromate on its list of chemicals under active safety review. If you are buying bread, look at the ingredients. If you see potassium bromate listed, that product would be illegal to sell in most of the developed world. Number 5. Azodicarbonamide. Most people know this one as the yoga mat chemical. It is a dough conditioner used in commercial bread to make it whiter, fluffier, and more uniform. The same chemical is also used to make yoga mats and shoe soles. Same compound, different aisle. The European Union banned it from food entirely. So did Australia and the UK. The World Health Organization classified it as a respiratory sensitizer, meaning it can trigger asthma and allergic reactions, particularly in workers who handle it during production. When heated during baking, it breaks down into semi-carbazide, which has raised concerns about carcinogenic effects. This one made national headlines when Subway faced massive public backlash after people discovered they were putting a yoga mat chemical in their bread. Subway eventually removed it. The American Bakers Association announced in 2026 that most of its members had phased it out, but the FDA still permits it at concentrations up to 45 parts per million. If you are buying cheap packaged white bread, check the label. It might still be in there. Number 6. Titanium dioxide. Pick up a pack of Skittles, a stick of chewing gum, or a container of coffee creamer, and there is a chance you will find titanium dioxide listed in the ingredients. It is a whitening agent. It has no nutritional value whatsoever. It adds no flavor. Its only purpose is to make food look brighter and more visually appealing. In 2022, the European Union banned titanium dioxide as a food additive after the European Food Safety Authority found it could potentially damage DNA. The concern is genotoxicity, the possibility that tiny nanoparticles can cause damage at the genetic level. France actually banned it before the rest of the EU back in 2020 after a study found that rats fed titanium dioxide developed precancerous lesions in their intestines. The FDA still maintains it is safe at current levels, but over a dozen US states are now pushing to ban it, especially in food served in public schools. It has not been banned federally yet, but with the EU ban setting a clear international precedent, The pressure is only growing. Number 7. BHA. Butylated hydroxyanisole is a preservative found in cereal, potato chips, chewing gum, butter, and cured meats. Its job is to prevent fats from going rancid and extend shelf life. The National Toxicology Program classified BHA as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen years ago. Animal studies found that BHA caused tumors in rats. In Europe, it is banned from infant food and heavily restricted in other products. California requires products containing BHA to carry cancer warnings under Proposition 65. For years, the FDA considered it safe, but that changed. In February 2026, the FDA ordered a new safety review of BHA, directly citing concerns that it might cause cancer in humans. That review is happening right now, and depending on what the FDA concludes, BHA could be the next ingredient pulled from shelves. Number 8. BHT. Where you find BHA, you almost always find its twin. Butylated hydroxytoluene serves a nearly identical function. It preserves fats and oils in breakfast cereal, packaged tortillas, frozen meals, and snack crackers. Studies have produced mixed results, with some suggesting links to tumor growth and endocrine disruption. The European Union has placed significantly stricter limits on BHT compared to the United States. The FDA now has BHT listed alongside BHA in its current round of chemical reassessments. Both are being reviewed at the same time, which tells you the FDA sees them as a pair. If one goes, the other likely follows. Number 9. Ractopamine. This one is different from everything else on this list because it is not a dye or a preservative. Ractopamine is a drug given to pigs and cattle to promote lean muscle growth and to make animals gain weight faster before slaughter. Over 160 countries have banned ractopamine, including the entire European Union, China, Russia, and Taiwan. U.S. meat containing ractopamine residues has been physically rejected at international borders. Russia and China have literally turned away entire shipments of U.S. pork because of this chemical. Studies have shown that pigs given ractopamine develop trembling, elevated heart rates, and difficulty walking. There are also unresolved questions about what those residues mean for the humans eating the meat. In the United States, ractopamine remains fully legal. The FDA approved it for pigs in 1999, for cattle in 2003, and for turkeys in 2008. If this concerns you, look for products labeled "No ractopamine added" or choose certified organic meat, which prohibits its use entirely. Number 10. Propylparaben. You have probably heard of parabens in the context of shampoo and skincare. Propylparaben is the same class of chemical, and it is used as a food preservative in tortillas, baked goods, muffins, and salad dressings. It prevents mold and extends shelf life. The European Union banned propylparaben from food back in 2006 because of concerns about endocrine disruption, meaning it can interfere with hormone function in the body. That was 20 years ago. In the US, California banned it in 2023 alongside BVO and Potassium Bromate. Several other states have proposed similar bans. The FDA has it listed in its current round of post-market safety assessments. There is no formal federal action yet, but the pattern we have seen with every other ingredient on this list tells you exactly where this is heading. Number 11. rBGH and rBST. The last one on this list has been controversial for decades. These are synthetic growth hormones injected into dairy cows to increase milk production. A single cow treated with these hormones can produce significantly more milk than it would naturally. Canada banned rBGH in 1999. The European Union Australia, New Zealand, and Japan all followed. Their reasoning centered on animal welfare, because the hormones increase rates of painful infections in cows, and concerns about elevated levels of a hormone called IGF-1 in the milk, which some research has linked to increased cancer risk in humans. In the United States, the FDA approved rBST in 1993 and still maintains that treated milk is safe. But the market has spoken louder than the government. Walmart, Costco, and Kroger now sell milk labeled rBST free. Starbucks uses only hormone-free milk. Dozens of dairy brands prominently display no artificial growth hormones on their packaging. Consumer demand has pushed the industry in a direction the government never forced. If you are buying conventional milk that does not specifically say hormone-free, it may still come from cows treated with these synthetic hormones. Here's the big picture. The United States has over 3,000 additives approved for use in food. The European Union allows about 400. That gap is finally starting to close, but it's closing slowly. And it's closing because of public pressure and state-level action, not because the federal system caught these problems on its own. The most powerful thing you can do right now is simple. Read the ingredient label before you buy. If something on this list is in your pantry, you don't need to panic. But you do deserve to know what you're eating and why dozens of other countries decided their citizens should not be eating it.